Well, hello all and happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. I'm excited to come in this week to tackle your questions live. If you're here live, thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on the replay, happy replay. I hope it goes well for you. We do have a whole slew of pre-submitted questions, so I'm going to start there. However, I'm live and active in the chat as per usual. If there's anything that comes up for you, please feel free to comment into the chat and I will get to as much as I possibly can. So our first question comes in to us from Lauren. And Lauren says, I'm thinking about having another child, which biggest congratulations. And I'm worried about taking a maternity leave. I'm in a studio suite and want to know how to do it the right way, if this makes sense. First of all, absolutely, this makes sense, Lauren. This is such a good question. And I think that whenever we're thinking about taking a leave or an extended absence, it's always good to get out ahead of it. So when somebody asks about a maternity leave, a lot of times people will like glaze over and say like, well, I'm not having a baby or that doesn't pertain to me. Consider it a leave of absence. So one of the things that's trending right now is extended leave for stylists. Two stylists come to mind who are in Thriver Society. One who takes the entire summer off. Doesn't take any clients from mid-June to mid-August. So that's about 8 weeks. She has young kids. She just stays home with her family all summer. That's an example. Also, we've had Thrivers who have taken extended leaves because they've thrown a shoulder out, care for an ailing loved one. There's lots of different reasons why somebody might take an extended leave. When I coach to how to do a maternity leave, it would be the same as any sort of extended leave. And the best things we could do to get out are to get out ahead of it. We do have a full training on how to take a maternity leave. It's a Thrivers only opportunity and a Thrivers only training. So we can make sure, Lauren, that you get your hands on that. Absolutely. It's not something I share publicly at all, but I have pre-recorded a Thrivers training on it, and we'll make sure that that gets to you. I think the most important thing for everybody to keep in mind is if you're taking a maternity leave, a medical leave, any kind of leave, an extended vacation, communication for the win. Here's the worst thing you can do. Post on social media that you're going on leave. That doesn't even make sense. When we think of the marketing funnel, what is social media? That's the interest level. That's where people are interested in you. That's not where we talk to existing clients. That's not where we tell people like, I'm not taking any clients. Like that makes everybody uninterested in you. So we don't want to turn the interest off. So we always want to say, if we're taking any kind of leave, whether it be maternity leave, extended vacation or whatever, the interest level should stay cranking. And you can do that with auto posting and all kind of stuff. But communication around an extended leave happens internally to our existing clientele, not externally on the marketing funnel. So something to really keep in mind. But Lauren, we'll make sure you get your hands on that training. And if anybody else needs it, you can email support@brittseva.com. If you're a Thriver, we'll make sure you get your hands on it as well. Really good question. Here's a question about booth rental scheduling. Amanda says, Britt, how do I maximize profit potential and still allow stylists to rent part-time or full-time? Renting allows more freedom, so I don't want to be inflexible. However, I don't want to be left with a station that has 2 random days that are not ideal, like Saturday and Monday. Thanks for your help. I appreciate your advice. And then she says, I know you've already answered this maybe in a T&D or a previous Q&A, but I've searched and searched and I can't find it. So I talk about how to do this in Thriving Leadership. So to Amanda, if you're searching like Q&As and Facebook groups, I have trainings all on this in Thriving Leadership. So that may be where you've heard of it before and you're looking through the community or you're looking through T&Ds. This is straight up in the Thriving Leadership training. So if you want, here's the thing about booth renters. Here's the thing that people do that's a massive mistake, is if I come in and I'm like, hey, I want to rent a booth from you. And you're like, cool, we have 1 chair available. It's, you know, however much per day or however much per week. Thank you so much. And I just pay you. And then I come and go as I please. That's generally speaking going to be a misfire. So if somebody is renting a booth, you want them to rent on a set schedule. So if they're renting Monday through Saturday, that's amazing. And they're paying for 6 days, whether they're there or they're not, they're paying for 6 days. If somebody's like, I only want to work Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, to what this person's saying, you have to ask yourself like, okay, am I going to be able to find another viable renter who can do Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Like that's not a bad schedule for somebody, to be honest. So if so, then maybe there is a split station potential there. And you could say to this person, okay, I can rent you Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever it was I said before. It's a 3-day rental. Here's your rate. Now, when I look at booth rental rates, there's a whole calculator in this in Thriving Leadership, but when I look at it, there's a day rate. The day rate is most expensive when somebody's renting 2 days. I never let somebody rent just 1 day. If you want to do it, that's totally fine. Just know that you'd be creating a salon based on opportunity, not on culture. So just something to keep in mind. But let's say they're renting 2 days. Great. Their day rate's going to be higher than somebody renting 5. So you do get a little bit of a prorated price decrease based on the volume of days you're renting. However, in most any other industry, you would control what days somebody has. So they can't say, this is my chair and I'm only paying for it 3 days a week. Cool. Just know that I'm going to rent it out the other 4. And if your renter's like, I don't want to share my station, then the response is, okay, so then now you're going to be a full-time renter. You're going to pay me for my 5 days. No, I only want to pay you for 3. That's fine, but I am going to rent it out for the other days. And that's where our industry needs to start getting smarter. And I know having those conversations can feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to tell my renters that we can't do that. But as an owner, what was your profit plan? How did you plan to have this salon make money? Because allowing your stylist to hold claim to chairs that they're not paying for 5 days a week is very difficult to turn a profit in that. So I've seen it done a few different ways. My beautiful daughter now works at a salon, and her salon is implementing split shifting. So if somebody is going to be in a chair, they need to be in there 5 days a week. That's simply their requirement. That's not every salon. And you're now going to choose AMs or PMs, and you're going to mandatory split shift. Her salon team is actually okay with it. So, but again, that's based on culture, right? Her salon team's culture is good for it, but it's all about communication and deciding what makes the most sense for your salon team. And when you say, I don't want to be inflexible, you don't have to be. So let's say I'm only renting a chair 3 days a week, and my current rental contract is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but I have a client who wants to come in on a Saturday. That is for me to negotiate with another renter. Let's say Sophie is another renter and she rents on Saturdays. I might go to Sophie and say, Soph, I have somebody who needs to come in Saturday at 3. Are you going to be here? Sophie says no. If Sophie's fine with me using her chair, that's now between Sophie and I. I'm now subleasing from her. But it's not to the salon owner to like work a deal. When you look at business like a business and not like a Girl Scout troop or a Boy Scout troop, it starts to become very clear what should logically happen. What we do in the salon space is we blur the lines because we're like, well, I don't want to make someone upset. I don't want to make them feel like they're ousted. Yeah, but you're running a business. And so it's for the stylist to work out those nuances, not the salon owner. I hope that makes sense. Karina says, how do we know when it's time to move into scaling stylist method? That's a really good question. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you so we can walk through it a little bit together. So scaling stylist method, first of all, huge announcement. Scaling stylist method is getting a massive upgrade come January of 2024. So starting next year, there is going to be additional monthly trainings in scaling stylist method, which is very exciting. And there will be advanced master classes for those in the program. So let me share my screen and show you kind of what it looks like on the inside so you know what's there. So when you go into Scaling Stylist Method, it doesn't look like a far cry from Thriving, but it's different. So we dive deep into X Factor Zone of Genius, brand positioning, perceived value workshop, anybody? Defining a methodology, perceived value workshop, anybody? Enhancing your method, perceived value workshop, improving loyalty, so guest loyalty, and we can take a look into here and see what that looks like. Nurture and loyalty, physical mailers, rewards programs, a client's digital lounge, client tutorials, text-based marketing, branded goods. Gaining control. So this is going to be policies, deposits, policy enforcement, cancellation policies, those kind of things. Getting organized, so business organization and optimization. Schedule improvement, increasing revenue, improving content, paying for awareness. So overall, it's just much more sophisticated. So I always say it scares me when somebody doesn't do Thriving Stylist Method first and go straight into scaling. Scaling is for somebody who's already making a good living, working a schedule they like, and they want to take it to the next level. So when I look at somebody who's scaling, I look at like the examples that I did share in the perceived value workshop. People are making hundreds of thousands of dollars as stylists working part-time. Scaling shows you how to do that. Thriving Stylist Method is the cake. Scaling is the icing on it. I can give you icing with a spoon and you can eat it like that. I mean, I like it like that sometimes. But if you want the fully baked cake, you do thriving in full first. Once thriving is working, then you go into scaling, and it's like that perceived value icing on the cake. So that's generally speaking going to be the best time to layer that in. Okay. How do we know what's broken in our funnel? My new guest requests are down by a lot and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. That's from Ava. So Ava, that's a really good question. I like to look at my funnel myself first and then ask for help. And to be honest, we review our marketing funnel every single month. So if you're not looking at your funnel monthly, that could be why. So is it that your interest level is failing? Are you not getting the social engagement that you weren't once getting? When's the last time you got a Google business review? When's the last time you got a Yelp review? When's the last time you posted a testimonial on Instagram? When's the last time you posted a new post on Facebook? Like, is your interest level being nurtured? If you're not creating interest, you're not going to get new business, right? Now, if you are creating interest, what are you doing to drive awareness? Are you talking about your referral program? Are you marketing in your local community? Are you paying for advertising? What are you doing to create awareness? Then your website. Is your website truly a 9 or a 10 out of 10? Or is it more like a 4? So a lot of these things we can actually assess for ourselves. And as I'm asking those questions, often people are like, well, dang it, I've been putting the website off. It's like some of these things you're going to just know, right? What are the things that are uncomfortable for you? What are the things you've been putting off? Start there. Then lean in for help. So we have our Thriver Society coaches here and ready to help you all. So that's certainly an option and something that you can lean into. But if you're like, I'm not ready for a coach, I'm not ready for coaching, ask somebody in the community. Go into the Facebook group and say, is there anybody who would be able to take a look at my funnel for me? Is there somebody who'd be able to take a look at my social media and see if something is missing? Leaning in and asking for help. The reason why they're called blind spots is because we're generally blind to it. We don't see it naturally and innately. So step one is you take a step back yourself, see if you can see anything jumping out at you, if there's anything you can be kind of making excuses about. And then step two is leaning in and asking for help. Katie says, is coaching the same as signature? Katie, there's a few options. Thriving Stylist Signature is where to get guaranteed coaching. If you're in Thriving Stylist Signature, every question you ask gets answered. You have eyeballs on your business all the time, multiple funnel reviews. That's signature. If you ask a question in the Thriving Stylist Method groups, there's a real good chance you'll get an answer. Are you going to get a video funnel review? No. But if you ask a specific question and say, I don't know what kind of content I should be posting on my website, can you help me? They'll give you some general feedback. Are they going to look up your entire marketing program and give you feedback on it? No, that would be something that would happen in Signature. But if you have simple questions like, I don't know how to create more awareness, or what is working on Instagram these days, they will 100% in your communities answer questions based on that. So will they pull up your business on the back end of their computers? No. Will they answer specific questions that you have? Yes. So if you want somebody to comb through your funnel and find your blind spots, that's Thriving Stylist Signature. That's exactly what that program's for. If you have specific questions that you know you need to ask, those are the things you can ask in the community, and our coaches are there to help you. I hope that that helped. Okay. Next question. Here's a question from Perceived Value Workshop. It says, is this from Alexis? She says, hook question. I'm leaning in on my elevated experience with luxury extensions, and my business name is Glamour Salon Studio. I offer multiple textures and multiple methods to be inclusive. In the salon, I include affirmation card pulls at the end of the experience and incorporate positive affirmations throughout my service, often talking about mindset shifts. I even play videos via my YouTube positive affirmations with pretty scenery, and my guests love it. I'm a certified life coach. My question is, how can I verbalize or market this, and can this be my hook? Should I post affirmations on Instagram once a week, or is that going to confuse a potential guest? I often make it a point to really connect with my guests and sit back and talk to them about providing an immersive experience. I'm all about confidence building and empowering women. Alexis, are you going all in on that? Is my question. Like, raise your freak flag very high. If you're a life coach, if you're about affirmations, if you are about, they're watching, it sounds like affirmation YouTube videos while they're in the salon with you, You can't dabble in that. You're either all in or you're all out. So like literally 50% of your Instagram content, and you need so when we say a hook, what I was just about to say is you need a hook for that. So it's like, I'm the affirmation stylist. I am your number one confidence coach. You're gonna come in wanting good hair, and you're gonna walk out feeling like the most confident baddie that ever walked the face of this earth. But that's your messaging, and that's the energy you're bringing into it. You can't be like, I do hair, and then also I have these affirmation cards. That won't work. Everyone's gonna be like, wait, what are you doing? And very confusing. So if you're going all in on, I'm a life coach, I'm your hairstylist, I'm going to build you up, I'm your number one hype woman. See the energy I'm bringing right now? That's the energy you bring to your business. Because no one wants the life coach who's like, and then also we're going to do your extensions and I'm going to make you feel good. You're either all in or all out. So if your hook is going to be, I'm going to make you believe in yourself like no one's ever believed in you before. And we're going to do that through brilliant hair, mindset work, and life coaching. When you sit in my chair, that is so good. Go all in. Your website's got to say it. Your branding's got to say it. Your social's got to say it. Everything's got to say it. So if you're willing to go all in on that level, I think that's super powerful and very effective, but you can't dabble. So make sure you go all in. Low perceived value hook there. All right, y'all, that's it for today. Keep the questions pouring in. And as I always like to say, so much love, happy business building, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.